Hi, everybody. Today I'd like to talk a little bit about good old fashioned Monopoly, first published by A.F. Thompson and Son in 1935. Of course, since then, over 50 different publishers have resold various editions of the original all over the world. I think it's Hasbro's IP now. And I know what a lot of people say about it. It's 100% luck. There's no real decisions to make. It's too long and all that. Well, the response is what it always is: do what you like, wear what you like, say what you like, play how you like. Just try the 2008 version. It's by EA and it was a Windows platform, but you can get it in different formats, like the one I'm about to demonstrate here. And I guarantee you'll find it entertaining, at least on some level. And if you don't, then I guess you just aren't down. I don't know what to tell you. If you do like it, then I'm drinking what you're drinking. You know, you could get it for free on the internet if you know where to look, or you could pay like $2 on Steam or something if you want to avoid the red light district of the information superhighway. Anyway, you know me, I'm old school. So, roll and move, check. D6s, check. Paper money, check. Economic game, check. Tick all the boxes, sign me up and I'll play. On the physical game board too, here and there occasionally. I think it's a fun game still. It's not my favorite game of all time, but it's still relevant to me. For the purposes of this video, I'm doing a computer game playthrough because all the money changing and bookkeeping is instantaneous, and yet this version of the game still has realistic deal making among the bots and the player. Bank auctions and all the fine points of the game are perfectly simulated here, in my opinion. And by the way, nothing against Monopoly Streets or Plus, the games that came out later. They look amazing, but to me the graphics are pretty busy and kind of overwhelming, so I prefer a tamer presentation. 2008 is my favorite. It still has amusing animations if you choose to enable them. Anyway, if you game against 3 AIs on the hardest difficulty setting, make yourself going last in the turn order, you get a fairly quick, interesting game that tells a story. At least it has an arc, the ups and downs, and tense dice rolling situations. Like, oh no, if I get a 6, 7, or 8 on a 2d6 roll, yeah, it's all over. With this video, I hope to highlight some of Monopoly's qualities in the face of common criticisms. I argue that it can be challenging, interesting, and quick if you play it like this. So this video will be more like a conversation playthrough, strategy demonstration, and review of some other Monopoly advice videos as well. How to win every time videos, what to buy, what not to buy. One of the best videos on YouTube is by a user named What's What, and honestly, I co-sign pretty much everything covered in his video. Although he seems to argue good trades, the art of the deal, so to speak, is like the most important factor in successful gameplay. And no doubt, the property trades made among players can be the turning points in your games, but I would move another point to the forefront ahead of any other so-called strategy aspects of the game. And that concept is one of cash management. The game is about real estate development. I mean, that's the theme anyway. But still, I argue that cash is actually king in Monopoly. If you can't manage it, you're screwed, kind of like how it is in real life, regardless of die results. So I hope to show you examples of what I mean during this playthrough. And yes, it's helpful to be aware of hot and cold spots on the board. Statistically speaking, of course, the orange properties seem to be the most prone to traffic, etc. But the beauty of Monopoly is the way it tempts you to spend, spend, spend until you don't have enough cash on hand to pay the top rents or penalties on the board. And that's like living off maxed out credit cards. Eventually something's going to go wrong and everything just unravels. I always try to develop the faster, cheaper properties, and you try and stick the expensive properties on people who you know will never be able to afford to develop them in the long run. Anyway, so I'll just see what's going on here. It's hard too because if you go last in the turn order, and the players in front of you get doubles, they can scoop up a lot of prime sort of real estate before you get an opportunity to do anything. And you can see thus far, um, as the race car red player going last, it's just like, I mean, I don't have anything on the board that isn't going to be contested immediately. Everything I own, I mean, it's, yeah, one of each with other AI people. I like this version too. The AI will offer you trades that, you know, like this one, for example, that it cannot benefit me in any way, basically. So you just ignore the bum sort of offers. However, this game does a beautiful job of see there. You can see that you can't have the mindset where you say, "Well, I'm just never gonna trade with the battleship or the iron or whatever other tokens are on the board. You know, how can they win if I never allow them to form monopolies?" But that doesn't work in this game, and that's why I like it so much. Because as you can see, the other players will just do deals amongst themselves. It's like they're conspiring against you. So that's nice that, you know, I'll never deal with the iron or, you know, top hat blue or purple. It doesn't matter. They cut deals amongst themselves, and as long as you don't win, that's the only thing that that matters to the AI. So it forces you to do the deal making. You can't be left out in the cold. So eventually, and since I'm getting a really horrible spread of properties that you can see, I will have to deal. And you know, a lot of people say, well, in my game group, that's impossible because no one wants to cut deals or something. In that case, I would suggest that you would have to talk to the other players in your group, because that suggests that there's some sort of meta, you know, thing going on where people are playing each other and not the roles of real estate developers or whatever. You know, that attitude can sink any game. It's not just Monopoly. So you go in there with the attitude of, you know, trying to do the best deal possible. And here, you see, I'm going to try and offer, I guess, the iron, an orange property, because the other bots are doing deals, and I cannot, you cannot hope to be competitive in this version of Monopoly if you don't deal make, which I think is great in this version. So if I can give the iron Atlantic, or get Atlantic off the iron and give him St. James. Of course, he's going to grind me for money, but going to accept it. And this is like that demonstrates like a valuable technique too, where you may get ripped off on the surface, it seems, on a deal like that, but I mean, I do control all of the yellows right now, and kind of contradicting myself in the gameplay from what I was preaching earlier in the video by running my cash very low. But as you can see, there's not a lot of, well, there's no houses on the board. So I'm barely, you know, I got an extra $200, but I can afford to pay any penalties that I will encounter. But I'm dangerously low on cash compared to the other players. As you can see, at 1,500, that's wise money management by the Battleship. Makes them build up the yellows, Marvin Gardens, Ventnor. But the yellows are slower to develop. They're hard. A lot of people will, try and avoid the more expensive properties. So I'm gonna maybe. Top Hat's trying to rip me off again. That deal does nothing for me. Decline offer, yes. It's funny too. Like, I'm not sure if you've ever like Google Maps Street Viewed some of these properties. I was curious to see what some of these places look like in real life, and I don't know. I learned a lot actually from just internet research. For example, like you get the impression from Monopoly that Baltic and Mediterranean low rent sort of properties, but if you look, like I don't know, to me, just by looking at photographs of that area of New Jersey, it's pretty nice. It has apartment towers, but in terms of like roughness factor, holy, I've lived in way worse areas than that. So I'm going to see if I can get Oriental off the hat. Give up my railroad. See, this is, yeah. Any, like, would a human player accept that offer? I think that's debatable. It does give me a monopoly, but the railroad was worth more on paper on its own than just Vermont, I guess it was. No money, though. Like I said, that's great that you have the properties, but if you can't afford to develop them, like I'm in now, like I'm short of cash, and that's barely okay. It won't be okay once the other computer players start dealing amongst each other to get their own monopolies and start developing properties, and I'm going to be in trouble. So this actually does not look like a promising game, to be honest. Even though I have, I'm the only player that has monopolies. It doesn't matter. Bank auctions too are fun in this. So it's gonna have the Battleship is he's gonna win. Smart. He's got the most liquidity. So there's the advantage of saving cash right there. He cannot be defeated in this situation. Although he can overpay. We'll see if the other... No. I was hoping the other tokens would sort of grind him, but maybe pay double the asking price. But he has a monopoly and the cash to build those up. I'm sure they will all have houses on them by the time the race car closes in on that part of the board. I have the yellows. Actually, the yellows in my internet search are just looking at Atlantic City, New Jersey. They're probably my favorite properties, like Ventnor, Marvin Gardens. Oh my gosh, are they ever attractive? To me, upscale. Like if you like the Atlantic Coast sort of style of architecture and those old like East Coast style homes, yeah, that area is like way nicer than anything I'll probably ever live in. The other thing that I don't get is like, if you look at Park Place now, it's entirely taken over by a casino. It's just like a that street is just it might be the Bellagio. It's just there's nothing to see. It's just like a big concrete, block. So maybe that changed over time a lot. And the boardwalk, I don't know. It looks nice, but it has to me like a Niagara Falls kind of carny vibe to it. So I'm like, who would want to live right on, the on the boardwalk? It'd be just like tons of tourists all the time. So yeah, I'm happy with the yellows. That's where I would live. So we see here, strapped for money, um, dangerous way to play. I do. And the only one that has buildings up. However, it's not that big a deal because the other players look like they could cover any sort of rents that I would collect. So we'll see how things go. I'm worried about the battleship. He has a ton of money, a monopoly, and let's say 2 or 3 more 2d6 rolls, and I gotta believe it's gonna be all filled with houses there, which is waiting for me. And I don't really have, well, depending on how many builds, I'm sort of at the edge of sort of smart play here. We'll see what happens. Doubles for the island. Hospital fees $100. Boy, times have changed. I had a couple zeros to that today. Right, so I got an 8. Zing. Those properties, I'm pretty sure, like as a kid, they changed the color. That was pretty sure Baltic and Med were purple on the edition that I had at home as a kid. Why the color change, I'm not sure. Maybe because it's too close to the pinks. All right. I'll take the 90. Ooh, what's the top I want? Offers $70, North Carolina. Yeah. So that one, you have to decline. I'm not just going to give him. I'm not that desperate for money. That property I'll hold on to as sort of a bargaining chip for later. Oh, battleship. Locked up. But and you can see the iron put a house. So the other players are now building up. So I will respond in kind, put more houses on the lower rent properties here. But you can see I've had the yellows for a long time, and it's expensive to develop. So I mean that's the beauty of this game. There's so many like different sort of temptations and things the players have to manage. I don't know. You have to admit that the designer of Monopoly really accomplished what he set out to do. Have like a fairly fast-paced game. It eventually winds up with one player owning everything and everyone else going broke. And there's a reason why this game is considered a timeless classic. Yeah, I like it. I don't care what anyone else says. And there are mods too to your physical game board that I should do a video of that. I have to get my old board. I think it's at my parents' house, but eventually I'll look into that. There's one for free that you can get that I've played on where the free parking space turns into like a little mini stock market mini game. So that's really cool. So anyways, more dealings. Uh-oh. Top Hat has the greens. Yellow has the... Oh, so there's monopolies everywhere. Battleships at a jail. Ah, there we go. That's not good. Luxury tax too. What luxuries? My fast food. They're gonna take that from me. Ooh, iron. Iron got crushed. And he just had enough money to cover that one. So he's in extreme financial peril now. More trades. Top Hat. What is... I gotta be careful here. It's, an 8. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. I can't get a 5, 7, or 8 next roll. See, we're at that point already. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5, 7, or 8 roll will really crater my chances of ultimately doing well in this game. Next turn. Because I actually can't even cover it. I would have to mortgage some properties that I don't have. Let's see. 9, I cleared it. Don't like having to buy that railroad, but if I pass, then I would just go to the Top Hat. You could outbid it, anyone else. So maybe that will be a bargaining chip as well. Ooh. Hat got zinged. Yeah, so the battleship is going to be my main rival here. You can just tell. Other Park Place. Can't afford it. Maybe bid it up. But I'm not going to seriously contend for it. We'll see what I can do. Oh, the battleship's willing to mortgage stuff. Yeah, so if that's the way it's going to be, then like I'm not going to play that game. Wow, 500. The Hat wants it. Whoa. That's dangerous. So he has the best monopoly, but no money. That's probably exactly the type of situation you want to avoid. All the best properties, absolutely no cash available to improve any of it. So here you can see the value of the lower properties here. You just, I'm already at hotels. And for barking. I could have waited to build those a couple times. The iron is closing in. Oh, that was lucky. Snake eyes. Utilities. A lot of people like slam the utilities. They say like they're, well, I agree they're probably the least desirable things that you can own, but I don't know. I buy them if I can. Nickel and dime someone that way, or any other players. Yeah, I'll take them. So the iron has to get really, really unlucky here. He's in trouble because if he rolls, well, he's got a lot of things that can go wrong. Roll very low, and I will maybe put him out of the game. And so he probably has to roll really high on his next throw. Let's see. The hat is, yeah, he's okay for now. Here it is right here. Oh, that's got to do it. No money. Sold his house, mortgage, waterworks, and he's got 16 bucks left. Yeah, that's a player who's on his way out. I can use that money to build up the yellows. And that's gonna carry the has to actually. I'm not gonna really be able to develop anything else except those two. Oh, that's really, really bad. That was a huge reversal of fortune there for me. Now the battleship has an advantage over me. He's probably the odds-on favorite to win now. I got unlucky there. Oh, I'll take the 360 though from the iron. That kills the iron right there. Yeah. Yeah, so I'll get his stuff, but I mean, it's all mortgaged. I have no cash, so can't develop it. It's going to be... I mean, the battleship has all his eggs in one basket there, the pinks, but he has cash. So yeah, he's better off than I am, I think. Because if I land there on his properties, I'm going to be boarding up the houses, and that's a sign of, well, impending disaster, financial ruin. That's the last thing that you should allow to happen. As soon as you're like, tearing buildings down, that's why I said like having that money, always protecting your bankroll. It's really your number one priority. Of course, I'm not demonstrating the greatest example of doing it. I'm like, the whole point is, yes, it's very, very... Oh, there we go. Will that kill that top hat? That makes the battleship even richer. But he doesn't have any more... He doesn't have the ability. Well, I guess if he takes out the top hat, he will to have all those properties. At this point in the game, if you were to ask me, I would probably, yeah, I would switch places with the battleship, because if I get unlucky and land on one of his properties, it doesn't matter how much. I mean, I don't know if I'd be able to recover from it with only $73 in the bank. It's several turns away, but we'll see. It's going to be close. This version is excellent too, because like when I first played, like you notice it maxes out at 4 players. Like, you know, you can play hot seat with 3 other people or 3 other AIs. I thought, well, that's kind of a bummer. Like, there's way more tokens. Like, why is it only 4? But the truth is, it seems to be a sweet spot for Monopoly. The games don't drag on. Like, 4 is guarantees you like a manageable game time. I find once you get like 5 players and more, that's when games can slow down. So 4 is like maybe the max. And the way this is handled, oh, the hat is squashed by the battleship. Yeah, so my fortunes have taken a turn for the worse here, because the battleship is just has money and all these other options now. It might be a matter. I need luck. Oh, what's he gonna do here? He really wants that red. I may as well just give it to him. He can't develop everything, and I got a couple of railroads there, even though they are owned by the bank. At least Pennsylvania isn't. Yeah, I'll take it. I'll take it. Risky, but you know, with like there's not enough money in the game for him to build all that up. Oh, but he's got a house on the boardwalk now. So yeah, I'm in trouble. Race car has all kinds of things that can go wrong now for me. And Mortgage Waterworks. That's a 4-space danger spot now. But we'll see. Anyway, what I was saying before is like the 4-player, its limitation is good enough, because think about it. Imagine playing Monopoly with 3 other players that they don't care about anything other than not allowing you to win. So they'll just do deals amongst themselves to get monopolies, even if you won't trade with them. So you have to. It forces your hand. It's a really cool way that this plays out. I really like this game. Really challenging and interesting to me, anyways. More houses. Build up Atlantic. Will I live to see hotels there? Not if I land on the pinks. So he's got that boardwalk space. That'll do damage. Wonder what else he's gonna. Where is the next house gonna go up? Oh, and there's one on red now. So he's digging deep to develop. His money supply is dangerously low. Oh, he goes to jail too, which misses my hotels. That's good for him. Good place for him. The slammer. I'm not out of the woods yet. I'm broke. It's not looking good. Yeah, I'm just gonna try and avoid boardwalk it to go. Oh, he got the doubles. Has to leave jail. Chance. Miss my properties again. Yeah, a lot of I inherit $100. Wow. Oh no. What's going on there? Let's see. How I'm still a ways from his pinks. Yeah, sorry. What I was gonna say is like the classics, the classic tabletops, roll and moves, whatever. They're popular for a reason. Like honestly, that's the one reason why I'm not. I can't necessarily get on board. Like I do understand the cult of the new and stuff. Like I understand like the excitement and being the first person to the excitement of being the first person to tell other people about it like a new great game, but of course. However, like these old games, I don't know. There's just nothing like them. See, I'm at the point where a bad roll is going to end me here. That is so lucky. It's like a 7, 9, or a 10 would have basically killed me. So there's no way I would have been able to pay those fines. And I probably don't have enough prop. Even if I mortgaged, I would have had to like dismantle houses and stuff. Oh, that's not even good. $100. Uh-oh. Down to my $18 in my pocket. Roll a 2 or a 3 and I'm going to be dead. Uh-oh, Battleship's got that one. Cheap low rent territories. Oh, no, he only has... one bid. $1. Yeah. I need the money, so... He just has to get a bad roll here. Bad roll, and it's... Things are different. So, and there we go. Now... The game is even, I would say, again. Because... Well... Yeah, he didn't have to mortgage anything, I don't think, did he? That pays for houses on yellow. Let's see. No, he's... Oh, maybe one house... Yeah, he dismantled some infrastructure on orange there. Or no, did he? Maybe not. Oh, maybe he's greens, it looks like. $100 gone. Oh, now Battleship has to avoid 2 danger spots on the board. And I already kind of cratered his checkbook. So, yeah, I'd say it's even. It's dead even, because if I hit the pinks before he lands on another one of my big spots, then I'm screwed. But didn't happen. Now he's dead meat, I think. The whole side of the board the bank owns. Let's see. Put up hotels, yellows. Yeah. Unmortgage the railroads. They're kind of fun if you have all of them. And since he's out of money, it'll just cause even more damage. Yeah, the next bad roll for him will have him boarding up like physical structures. So he's down to his last chances here. Yeah, he's like, he had to sell houses. It's a real, yeah, business for the battleship really took a turn for the worse. This might be unrecoverable. I would have to land on his pinks. Then he'd be right back in it. But if I can avoid his pinks here, I think he's dead. We'll see. We'll see though. Yeah. I may as well just be aggressive now because the battleship's on the ropes. Let's see. Yeah, that's sold more houses. Virginia. Yeah, the battleship may not make it around the board another turn. Isn't it amazing though how this game works? Like how well it's designed? Like it's so successful in its original intention to, you know, drive every player out of out of existence except for that one person. That's not an easy thing to do, really. To be, you know, it's, I don't know. I can see why you know, people find this like not compelling or whatever because it's so old school. But I don't know. I just I really appreciate Monopoly for what it is, what it does accomplish, what it, you know, considering its original intent. Doubles. And is that it? This has to be it. Down to $67. No properties. Surely it's just a matter of time now. One more roll, maybe. I'll put the pink player, the battleship, out of its misery. Because I have lots of money now. And that's all that matters. And he has no way to take it from me, actually. How can he take it from me? So this would be like a situation where you could take over-under bets on how many more turns the game will be. I'd say the over-under is probably like, let's see, where is he? Well, if he misses the maybe let's say four. So there's one, two. Yeah, because it's well, we'll see. It's one. 10. Got a bit of money there. But he can't cover like any of the potential penalties, so it's not like you can. Is he gonna like try and rebuild anything? Oh, got his pockets ran by the CRA or IRS for you Americans. You know what that's like. That's realistic. Broke. Come on. Where are you? Surely he's going to die here. Okay, well, he's got to avoid the yellow hotels. Can he do it? Is that enough? He's in jail. That's the best place for him. That your life is like really taken a bad turn if that's the case. Oh, he got doubles. Oh, and he can't make good. Yeah, he's sunk. So there you go. Race car wins. That was fun. Now, I don't think I did a particularly good job of demonstrating what I was preaching at the beginning of the game, but you can certainly see that. I hope how important like cash, the bank account intact, is to ultimately prevailing. Anyway, I hope you got something out of that, and thanks for watching. And stay tuned for more content coming soon.